Okay, go.
Go. The year was 1944, and I had just graduated from Spartanburg High School and deciding on what I would do because I was not going to college. And so many of the girls were joining the telephone company and working in the office or being operators and local and also long distance. So I decided I would love to be a long distance operator. And so I applied and got the job, and then I started to train. Now, we finished high school when we were after 11 years, so I was a pretty young girl at this time. So I went to work and loved it and so forth. Well, noticed that some of the girls had keychains made out of plugs where you plug into the machine and connect with operators, and so many were worn out, and he had made keychains for the different girls who wanted to have them. So I was soon to be one to receive one of the keychains, but before even that, I had seen him. I would go past his office going to get to the lunchroom to get Cokes or eat sandwiches or something during our 15-minute breaks. And I would pass the office where he worked. And this guy had just come back from service. And he had been with the telephone company before he went in, so he came back, and he loved that kind of thing. So he was working in the equipment room, and he had gotten out of the Christmas before, and so that was his background. He'd been in the military, in a CB, a sailor, and as I walked past the door, I would often, it would be hot and stuffy evidently in this click, 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 click room all the time. It was click, 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 and I'd know the door was open as I approached. And I would peep in and say hey, and he'd say hey. For some reason he was always close to the door when I would go by, and so I thought, this guy's really cute. Well, I went on would go on in this particular time, went on into the lunchroom, and just 2 or 3 girls were in there, and I got a Coke and potato chips, a little something to nibble on. And he soon comes in and says funny things to the girls, and they respond to him, and he goes over and gets a Coke out, and they start talking to him, and he starts talking, and very free to talk and cut up with the girls, and I thought this was real attractive. So when he left, also he started talking to me. Well, I didn't know him, but that was my first encounter with him. So when he left, I said to the other girls who were my close friends, oh, I like him. He is really cute. I like his personality. And they said, well, Vivian, you can forget about him. He is engaged to a girl from California, and this was in the spring. And he said she'll be out here in August to spend the whole month of August, and they're going to be married. Not then, but they'll be engaged. And so I said, well, They may be engaged, and she may be coming out here for a little visit. But I'm here, and she's in California. And they thought that was kind of funny, and she's daydreaming, and kind of laughed about that. Well, anyway, sure enough, the young lady came, and different ones asked me if I had seen her, and I said no, and they said, well, she's very attractive. They had all been to a dance the night before, and I was not there, so I didn't see her, but they were impressed, and so they were all talking about her. And so it wasn't too long before my hopes were all dashed away, and she came and she left. Well, it's not too long after that, somebody told me that she had been, that they had broken up. And I said, well, I had not heard that. And they said, well, you probably will, because it's all over, that she stayed out here a month, and for some reason the wedding is off. So I didn't think too much about it, but wondered why. And one day I was walking down Main Street not too long after that, and I was going one direction, and I saw him coming, and he was going in the opposite direction. So it was a crowded street, and we had to pass each other, and he stopped and I stopped, and he said, hey, how are you? And I said, I'm fine. And how are you? And he said, I'm working, and so forth and so on. And so he said, by the way, did you know the fair was in town? And I said, yes, Spartanburg always gets it in late October. This was in late October. And he said, would you like to go? And so I said, yes, I would. And we set it up, and he came, and we went and had a very good time. Well, this was in October. In November, after this, somewhere along the way, he told me he was no longer engaged, and I didn't inquire, as it was none of my business. But anyway, he said he continued to call, and we continued to date, and this was late October. The Spartanburg Fair usually in those years were in the late October. So on the 7th of November, we had also been out. This was from late October to the 7th of November. And he said, and we dated, went to the movies or did something. And I was awfully fond of him, and he was evidently fond of me. So we sat in our living room, and my living room, and my parents' living room, to get this accurate. And he said, let's get married. And I said, when? And he said, anytime, just anytime. Tomorrow, the next day. And I said, that's a little bit early for me. And I said, but I don't care for a large wedding. He said, I don't either, so this would be fine. And so he said, well, set a date. And I said, well, at least give me a month. How about December 6th? And the proposal was on November 7th. And I said, December 6th? He said, December 6th would be fine. And so from the first date in October until the 6th of December, we had dated and also married. And so that was it from years 50. We were married 50 into our 55th anniversary. when the Lord took him home into heaven, and had a long marriage, a happy marriage, and I don't remember the word divorce ever occurred in our 55 years of married life. And it was great. And there's more, but I can tell. I think that's enough for that.
Okay.